Morhaime Quit. Let's do Morhaime quitting.
Morhaime Quit, did he?
He sure did.
Okay.
He sure did. And we actually...
Know why?
We know why.
It's in the title.
Yeah, we have a letter. We have a letter he sent to Bobby.
Did it call him bad names? Can we show this on air?
So, the context here is Blizzard had a lot of autonomy, 2008 through to 13. Titan happens.
Uh-oh.
And I think the Bobster is like, oh dear, you just took all of your best people and pissed away almost a decade. Not only $80 million, I would argue, and maybe Bobby understands if he, this is maybe what Bobby thought, given that he's sort of resourcey manager, whatever brain. It's the opportunity cost.
Billions in opportunity cost?
Yeah, billion. Yeah, absolutely.
Billions,
that's what he will see.
Billions of Bobby's money pissed down the drain by Mike Morhaime.
To be clear, billions of Bobby's future money.
Yes.
So he will...
Billions of the... So whenever they talk to him about Titan, and they had World of Warcraft doing really well, and someone is like, Bobby, my man, we're working on the World of Warcraft killer. We're going to do this big in a while. It's going to be fucking sick, dude. You're not going to believe it. You're going to be able to go to parties and be like, I'm the guy who owns Project Titan, whatever it's going to be called.
I'm imagining Mike pitching it like this. This is amazing.
And then everyone will say, Bobby, you're the fucking coolest. We thought you were super cool and awesome when you were the World of Warcraft guy, but now that you're the guy who has Project Titan, we actually respect you more.
I mean, now, obviously, Bobby's extremely well-known and respected. He actually hung out with global beloved superstar James Corden. In that weird party where everybody was wearing white clothes.
Oh yeah, that was strange. But
imagine what other late night television hosts he could have hung out with if Project Titan was a winner.
Could have been every Jimmy, could have been shaking his hand like unreal.
He could have done the fabled double Jimmy. It's just one chair with one Jimmy. And then Jimmy's, because I mean, usually there's like the Jimmy, and then there's like a sort of a fat, funny guy. Mm-hmm. And then there's the guest. So you'd have Kotick in the middle, funny guy, Jimmy, funny guy, Jimmy. Would have been the event of the year. But no, never happened to Bobby. He's got to deal with James Corden, and it's all Mike Morhaime's fault for letting Project Titan fail.
Wasn't he on Jeffrey's list? Shh. Don't talk about that. It's fine. Don't worry about that. No images of his Activision email being in that book. No, sir. Anyway, so
Jeffrey Epstein doesn't exist.
Yeah. So hanging out with P Diddy. Oh God. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
People are making some social media stonks on that one.
Absolutely. Bobby had a freak off. Like anyway. So this is the expression of the man they brought in when they were like, "We need you to make Blizzard's money make sense," and he's like, "Ah, fuck." This is Armin Zerza.
He's a soap man. He came from the world of soap.
Yeah.
What?
Actual soap, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know what you mean otherwise.
Long story.
Good.
Long story.
I'm going to assume I'm innocent and better off remaining innocent.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He was a soap man. And in his previous life, right, he had a big problem. Matt, they needed more soap.
More soap?
Yeah. So Joey did.
How do you do that?
Joe, fucking genius did.
Sounds complicated.
He made a new soap factory. Now, he then comes in.
Did that do it?
I mean, look, he's Ivy League,
does look clean.
MBA, McKinsey. He's got all the things you could possibly want. So he's like,
got so many skeletons in that closet.
He's just thinking like, man, well, I know what I did when I needed more soap. Now we need more video games. So how about we just open another video game factory?
I don't see why it doesn't work.
Don't see why. Yeah, exactly.
It's soap and video games, like, as I always say, the two most things like each other in the world are soap and video games.
Now, funnily enough, soap, detergent, and diapers are probably what a lot of Blizzard developers did actually need. So they hired the right man, but unfortunately for the wrong position. Yeah. Now, the thing is, to be clear, I am not saying Armin's a bad dude or anything like that. No, it's just he's from a completely different world. And video games are really, 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 really fucking hard. As in, like, you can do normal software. I mean, normal software, don't be a dick, but it's kind of piss compared to video games.
Yeah, you turn around, you're like, ChatGPT, make me a class.
There you go.
$80,000 a year at the minimum. Done. Easy. Sorted.
Games are really hard. They're really hard from a technical perspective. They're really hard from a creative perspective. They're so goddamn hard. So you cannot treat it like soap. Now, the thing is, through those MBA programs, not only is it about crafting the effective executive, it's quite generic, because the idea is, well, it all kind of comes down to the balance sheet at the end of the day, our inputs and our outputs and our costs and yada yada. So there's a lot of generic skills.
Damn, financial realism.
Whether he is a soap man or a Coca-Cola man, I mean, maybe you're going to think about, after Jobs got booted, your man who ended up, was it John Scully? I forget his name. Ended up, CEO of Apple, and or was leading Apple, and then Apple just had this like bloated lineup of 1 trillion products, and they were all shit. And funnily enough, as is the theme of today, Apple ends up regaining its position in the market by making way fewer things, but making them good. So from perspective, this dude, it's all generic. It's generic widgets. Whether it's computers or video games or bars of soap or diapers, it's generic widgets. So
just in the business of selling commodities.
Yeah.
Normal shit. So apparently he was doing things like asking why Hearthstone wasn't pushing people to buy card packs more often. Which, to be fair, actually, could have got away with relatively well. Why Overwatch?
Well, you should try logging into Hearthstone now.
Yeah.
They actually may need a separate epilepsy warning just because of the quantity of pop-ups.
Perfect. Why Overwatch wasn't selling maps and heroes? I mean, to be fair, it would have been pretty handy if they sold maps instead of not giving you any.
Do you know what's really annoying about that?
What?
I remember before Battlefield was a live service, when they had this insane business model, right?
Where they made you game?
They made maps and sold them to you. Now, I get the problem.
Yeah, you have to buy maps.
You got to buy maps. And then how many players will it be for the final map pack? But I realized something recently about why World of Warcraft is like a game I'm happy enough to keep playing. Or, foundationally.
It makes stuff and goes, would you like to purchase this?
It's the alignment of incentives.
We'll make the game good and you can buy it, please.
So when Battlefield sold me maps in map packs, 3 a year or 4 a year, whatever, I was not thrilled about it. But I got loads of content, and there was continually a reason to be invested in Battlefield. And if you look at the quantity of maps in Battlefield 1, as opposed to the live service Battlefield titles they've done since then, Battlefield 1, way more successful game, way more maps. Because they were financially incentivized to make maps. They didn't have to bend over backwards to make Jocko Willink look like Santa Claus in order to sell me a Christmas skin. Funnily enough, they knew that I was there playing the game because I liked their maps. Damn. Shit, let's sell them some more maps. Maybe the map pack will have unlockable guns in it too. And then I'm thinking, new map, new location, new vibes. Okay, new gun, I'll go buy it. And then I play it for 3 weeks. And I have fun.
Sounds good.
Instead of this, the more goofy situation that we've got into with modern games.
The live showcation.
Yeah, where it's like, you're never buying the game. And that means they're not financially incentivized to make the game. They're financially incentivized to make enough game to keep you playing the game so you're always going through the gift shop.
Yeah, to make a song and dance about it. They're incentivized to bring you to the gift shop, which means you have to leave.
So
that's a weird notch anyway. I did like specifically the call out that Zerza seems perplexed why Blizzard was doing things like BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Because that to me, and obviously I understand different world, I understand different things, I understand they've got that different bent on money. But to me, the prospect of walking into BlizzCon going, hey guys, what? BlizzCon's really expensive, why are you doing it? And not being able to figure that out immediately.
Yeah.
It screams to me of one of two things.
Well, he's never been to SoapCon. That's for one. The soap industry has fun at SoapCon.
I fucking bet. So there's a way of... I can't keep it up.
I'm thinking about rainforest and diapers now. Make it stop.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate having brainworms.
Yeah, I know it's terrible. But to me, it speaks of two things. It speaks of, or one of two things rather. It speaks to asking a question without thinking about it first. Or it speaks to literally not being like a reptilian, and your brain works a different way than the rest of us humans, because I don't know what it is about that.
Oh, dude, I know.
But it's like, why are you running BlizzCon? It's like, it's a big community event where everyone gets really entrenched in their fandom of us, which is just making sure these are lifelong customers.
So,
and that's obviously the financial look on it. Obviously,
the thing about creatives,
cynical one, but yeah.
the thing about creatives that sucks, it can be a bit inconsistent, a bit chaotic. Maybe some of their ideas will be shit.
Damn.
And I guess if you're him, you're like, well, why don't we just, have more engineers who, we certainly need both. And I think the problem is whenever you are so quantitative with everything. Great example.
Oh, that's what happened. Everyone's trained to sell commodities, so they turn video games into commodities.
Well, culturally, it's one of our biggest problems. There's no...
What if video games are soap now?
Where is the stuff that you don't find by following the numbers? I mean, it's even in the flipping line, follow the numbers. You're always going to be following. You won't be making new numbers. For new numbers, you need, you need creation. Dear, I'm going to start talking about Morgoth and Eru now. Oh my God. End of Rings of Power tomorrow. I can't wait.
Oh dear.
Chaos reigns. My point though, of course he's going to see BlizzCon like that.
Yeah.
Because he's going to look at the numbers and he's going to be rational and logical.
He's a number hound.
And we are trained to be these little STEM computer people. That's what it was, all education.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm STEM all my life, three sciences into computer science stuff. Yeah. That's fine. But the problem is, even if you have some great IQ and, your brain has so amazing horsepower and you can just rapidly come to the right answer, the right answer will always blind you to the whole realm of creation. And it's that realm of creation that can give you 10x results. Again, I say, talking about the news channel. For the longest time, we looked there like, look at the watch time of the videos. Let's twiddle around with the click-through rate. Always tweaking, always following the number. And we only found better numbers, like a step change in better numbers I basically thought, fuck this. I may be following the numbers, but I don't like how any of this shit looks. So how about I actually try to make a better fucking experience? Fuck all the numbers. Fuck all the logic. Far better result.
See, data
can be paralyzing. I think one of the problems that small YouTubers have the most, in a way, is YouTube Analytics. Because YouTube Analytics is an amazingly powerful tool.
Oh, it is the fastest way to give yourself nightmares.
More than that, it will completely limit your thinking. Nothing will be blue sky.
Yeah, because you're now looking at you're constrained within the realms of analytics. It's interesting because because you say about it being like an issue of logic, I don't even think it is. Like when it comes to like being creative and like trying to make it a big change, I can kind of see it takes a realm of that. But BlizzCon's logical. At least to me, it's just logical one step further. It's just not as simple as
it's quantifiable.
Monday now. Like it doesn't have to be quantifiable to be logical. You can logic quality as well. You can go, well, the logical thinking is, well, why does someone buy a Blizzard product? Because they want okay. Well, because working backwards, if you want to start from zero to get BlizzCon, that could be difficult. But if you see BlizzCon, I think you have to be kind of daft to not see, well, this is clearly a play at long-term things. We can't measure that because it's very, very long, but it seems to be working all right, so fuck it, why not? Like
incentives. Under the incentives that he understands within his defined job role and purpose, it doesn't make sense because that's not his training and that's also not his purpose. And I think one of the reasons that a lot of this just happens in companies is it's weird because like once you start to see it, you kind of see it everywhere. Where so much of the consulting industry is just, can I have a rubber stamp, please? Look at university. What's university? It's a fucking rubber stamp. The amount of stuff that's just kind of like ass covering and shit that's almost like risk mitigation within within an organization. Because if you do some sort of amazing logical assessment of something, all your numbers are fucking perfect and it doesn't go right, well, at least your boss can be like, oh well, I can see you did a really good analysis of that. I just can't fault you.
Yeah.
that's not going to lead to the real good shit. And I guess that's what having the sort of McKinsey management class come in and just fuck the whole thing.
Yeah, we had the whole like management class discussion last stream 2 weeks ago, and that was basically me just going, why are these people thinking wrong? Why are these people so limited in their thought processes? Not or they're trained into that. Whoops. It's the whole like, if we had speciation, I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Oh, I
Capacity
remember
for thought, like
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Our characters end up in it's like a colony ship, but he's in the colony ship that's like full of mid-level managers, and I think one of the, because it's Douglas Adams, it's like telephone sanitization specialists, and it's kind of like a parody of all that. So this guy moves in, and this is just really typical of the sorts of pressure that exist, right, within the Blizzard organization as the financial side start to get more powerful and exert more influence. Again, it's not that they're bad-meaning evil people. It's that they've been set a certain type of goal, a certain way of thinking, a certain target, and an expense that is hard to justify is hard to justify. Because you can't just be like, well, the vibes are right, so I'm going to do that expense. No, that goes away. And continually you hear that the finance department gets more and more and more power. There are more questions being asked. This is stuff that I've heard as far back as talking to individual who was like mid-senior years and years ago. And he was like, oh, dude, it's all totally true. It's all totally true. The finance department's got way more power. Way more calls of the finance people. Way more people from finance sitting in the meetings. Just that's the way it goes. So he's one example of that. Not a bad dude. Profoundly didn't get it.
Yeah, just didn't get it.
Now, where things get interesting is how successful Overwatch is. Because I don't really know if it's in this excerpt as much.
No,
because,
not really.
Like, yes, Morhaime does leave because just riff with Bobby, doesn't want to run the organization anymore. But not that long before that, Bobby and the whole board of ABK are giving Morhaime a standing ovation. Because, I mean, they being sort of that sort, big C-suite, they couldn't see Project Titan turning into a $1 billion franchise. Yet Blizzard did it. Now, where it's interesting is Bobby, like, literally, and actually, I think we go into that in another one of our topics about like Bobby just being like, yo, I'll give you all the money, open another team. But Bobby's like full in for support, because if you're thinking like Bobby, what are you going to do? You cut your losses, you double down on your wins. So he wants to do that. But of course there is more. It's not just that purely good thing. And we know Overwatch ends up being a shit show. A lot of people involved with the Overwatch League, extremely angry at Kotick. The Overwatch League was Kotick, because it was kind of it's like his baby in a way. He loved it. Like that with COD as well. And he loved the idea of turning it into like a franchise sports league, which is, I guess, something we're not as used to. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not connected to sports at all. But in America, the big NFL teams where, there's the franchise buy-ins to the league. And that was a part of the Overwatch League thing where it's like, hey, do you want the Atlanta dudes?
If you got $20 million in your back pocket or like hiding under the couch somewhere, you can have yourself a team. Which is funny because I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy, was it the MLG guy or something else who was running was it Nancer? Nate Nancer was his name?
Yeah, that's it.
Was running it under like Bobby. He was the one who suggested 250k buy-ins. And then Bobby was like 20 mil.
Silly sausage.
You're like, sorry, what? Sorry, excuse me. And Bobby's just like, I can just get all my billionaire mates to be absolute rubes. Not that he knew that at the time or hoped for that. It was hope before I will build the NFL of video games.
Like, again, you've got to take that in the context of the insane esports valuations at that time.
Overwatch was printing money hand over fist. It had immediately grabbed a cultural capital that was like, I could see the comparison to World of Warcraft at the time. It was fucking massive.
It topped the hub.
It was
absolutely top the hub. You know which hub I'm talking about.
I'm sure they were considering that internally in terms of the cultural capital. Like,
I don't say that just to be like, oh, the internet's a bit weird. That's
the character design was a resounding success. Like,
it was a resounding success.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually literally true in so many different capacities.
I am pretty sure. Oh wait, no, that's Shape of Water. Yes. A company made an object designed for the pleasure and it was based on The Shape of Water. But Guillermo del Toro said, I actually know what it looks like, because The Shape of Water's got a fish dude in it. So del Toro's like, nah, it doesn't look like that. It's inaccurate. Also, don't do that.
Yeah, he wanted that money.
So that's all amazing. But boom, crumbles. So pressure. To read from Jason, people around Morhaime worried that his fights with Activision were taking a toll. He'd already submitted a resignation letter in 2017, but Kotick and Blizzard colleagues close to Morhaime had persuaded him to walk it back. Spring 18, after one ABK offsite, Morhaime realized he'd lost and began to quietly talk with other execs about a succession plan. 2018, announces he's stepping down. He doesn't offer much of a public explanation, just he decided it's time for somebody else. But those working closely knew why. He was tired fighting Bobby. He looked like a second-term president, one former exec who asked not to be identified said. Blizzard staff are devastated. They worship Morhaime. He was the boss who greeted receptionists by name and responded directly to emails from low-level workers. Hundreds of employees wrote emails and letters to Morhaime to thank him and wish him farewell. They soon discovered what he already knew. Blizzard would never be the same.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a punchy end to the article.
It's a very, very good, it's a very well written book. From what I can tell so far anyway, from these excerpts. But ultimately the story was, after Titan's failure, Bobby assumed control slowly but surely by installing people like Zerza. I think Zerza was a recommendation of some other executive that Bobby was friends with, and they just generally kind of pushed a little bit towards that, and Activision did. And that was becoming more and more obvious to Blizzard. The one ABK thing was an offsite where they went, let's get all the executives from all the ABK things. We can be one big happy family.
Woo!
And obviously Morhaime recognized that as, oh, they're taking my Blizzard from me. Well, I need to get out before it happens.
Yeah, they in the corporate team building, they bounce the ball to Mike, and he's like, I'm Mike and I like video games. And everyone else is like, I was the number one jock at McKinsey. I don't think that's how any of them talk.
Like,
you get my point.
I have made $20 billion by selling orphans' kidneys back to them. You like video games? Well, that's cool too, I guess.